Democrats finally give their backing to a Republican Senate bill to end U.S. government shutdown. Fighting breaks out over water and beer at the Mexican border, and Mexico defends its chilies against European imitations. Hello and welcome to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Let's go straight to the information. The Senate overwhelmingly voted to advance a short-term spending measure on Monday after Democrats agreed to support the bill, ending a three-day-long impasse and paving the way for the reopening of the federal government. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer announced on Monday that his party would support the legislation which funds the government through till the 8th of February, while extending for 6 years a popular health insurance program, CHIP, that provides coverage to 9 million children. A preliminary vote to advance the bill passed 81 to 18 votes. 16 Democrats and 2 libertarian-minded Republicans voted against it. After the bill passes through the Senate, it will then go back to the House. House GOP lawmakers are largely united, and it's expected to pass. It must then be signed by Donald Trump before federal employees can go back to work. Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan said on Monday that if the Senate passed the spending bill, the House would also pass it. He's refused to negotiate on an immigration deal, a key sticking point, while the government remains shut down. The vote came several hours after the workday for hundreds of thousands of furloughed federal employees was supposed to have begun, and it comes 3 days after the government officially shut down Friday at midnight. Moving on. In the agriculturally rich Mexicali Valley, construction of the Constellation Brands brewery has sparked a heated conflict among a small, passionate group of farmers who feel their water and way of life are under attack. It's led to a series of clashes between police and protesters at the Mexicali site, where international beverage company Constellation Brands is building a $1 billion plant, expected to be operational by 2020. A group called Mexicali Resiste is supporting the fight by employing a variety of tactics, motivated by what they view as an injustice that a US-based company plans to use Mexico's scarce water to make beer destined for US consumers. Constellation Brands, the third largest beer maker in the United States, has consistently maintained that its investment in Mexico would create 750 permanent jobs in Mexicali and 3,000 to 4,000 positions during the construction of the new plant. Constellation and water experts suggest the brewery will use a negligible amount of water. The company said it will use between 0.1 and 0.3% of the total water available to service the region. In the Mexicali Valley, farmers say they're concerned that as the pressures on the river grow and the brewery drinks up more of the precious supply, they're likely to get less water. In other news, along with mariachi and tequila, Chile is almost synonymous with Mexico and is now also a topic of interest in the revision of the free trade agreement with the European Union. Mexico's national producers seek that Europeans recognize the geographical indication of jalapeno peppers, typically grown in Mexico, by ensuring that products from other regions don't enter the European market posing as Mexican chilies. They also seek recognition of the geographical indication of the chipotle chili, which is smoked and when processed acquires a sweet taste. Jonas Murillo, head of the Chamber of the Food Preserves industry, said that a lot of inferior Turkish and Asian chili is entering the European market, which is being passed off as Mexican food. He complained that chili produced in Turkey omits to state the country of origin on its labeling. He contends that if the recognition of the geographical indication were obtained, only the chilies of Mexico could be called jalapeno or chipotle. Those which are not Mexican will have to be labeled differently. Murillo added that the complaint focuses specifically on these two types of peppers out of the dozens that are produced and consumed in Mexico because they have the greatest impact on sales. In fact, annual sales for jalapeno and chipotle chilies are worth $375 million. And finally, let's turn to the markets. The Mexican peso increased 0.61% to 18.79 from 18.67 in the previous trading session. On the other hand, the IPC Mexico decreased 0.04% to 49,954 from 49,974 in the previous trading session. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.
Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, solo por México News Network Televisión.